go to like a big box store, those pieces are being mass produced. They have a giant tree basically of wax. All that wax ultimately gets cast into a tree of you know, silver or gold rings. So where's the love in that? It's not unique, it's mass produced, and it's basically turned into, you know, that's your industrialization. ForgeCon Conclusions really harkens back more to the roots of what this craft is. Individual pieces, handmade at the bench. We usually have folks that are looking to fulfill a anniversary, birthday, special occasion. So the pieces that we're creating are unique from scratch, and the folks are looking for something unique from scratch that represents that, you know, that person, that individual, that special event, that special moment in their life. So you can kind of see there's the blue showing back up. So this is for the top, and you can see how the blue is showing up in a whole bunch of places. You can actually do a whole bunch of things where you can like selectively heat different spots and put different twist patterns in, like reverse twist and stuff. It started off as a youth. I loved rocks. I loved going into the backyard trying to find, you know, sparkly rock. And I actually had a small field manual of rocks and gemstones, and it had all sorts of different stones in it. It helped with identification, a little bit about where, you know, some of these are from, and it even had a small section in the back about jewelry that was made with some of those stones. You know, it was great. And then from there, as a teenager, I ended up getting into the metalworking part of things. So I did blacksmithing, and it was fantastic using flame to basically coax metal into different shapes that you want. You know, it's fantastic because you can make whatever you want. Your limitation is, you know, your own imagination, essentially. So with that blacksmithing background, I did take some courses here and there. I took a straight razor blade class, which is precision work, very intense, you know, very thin pieces that, you know, have very specific angles and geometries with it. And then with the jewelry, with getting into that, I managed to land myself an apprenticeship, and that ultimately culminated into you know, getting enough skill and then making the business ForgeCon Conclusions. So now we got here and cut there. This is a jeweler's saw. It's got a frame on it, and then it has small saw blades, and they come in various sizes depending on what kind of task you're looking for. You can do anything from, you know, cutting different types of stocks, and then you can actually do a lot of pierce work with this type of saw because the blade is so small. We'll do the same for this one. So what you might find in a typical jewelry store is a case that has a whole bunch of pieces that are generic, you know, the same essentially. ForgeCon Conclusions is really trying to take that uniqueness that each person has and turn that into, you know, their style, or making a piece for them. And it's not cookie cutter. You basically have to find the inspiration that, you know, that person sees, and transform that at the bench into the piece that they're looking for. So a lot of people have asked about this. This is a bench pin. It's adjustable. You can put different things on. So they're made of wood or plastic, variety of different materials. So this one is fairly new and not very well worn in yet at this point. So, but basically after a while, this will be like the jeweler's fingerprint. And jewelers will use it depending on what kind of repetitious motions they have. They'll have different patterns in it. This is a mini torch. It has air and gas. We're using propane. The air is being supplied from a oxygen concentrator. And basically what we're doing, we're gonna light the propane. You'll have a small flame, and then sharpen it by adding gas. And that creates a very small, very hot flame capable of doing hard soldering. ForgeCon Conclusions got started out of the need to find more than just, like, you know, behind a bench hiding sort of situation. I really needed to find and expand my you know, experiences with, you know, with actual people, you know, because they're the ones that are asking for that special piece to make that special moment. And in order to do that, you have to go out there, you have to get out from behind the bench and go approach those people and really, like, get in touch with them, with their reality, and find out what it is that they're looking for. The Ring Mandrel is basically my tool for forming. So I can start off with a ring, and I'll put that on here, and I can hammer it to varying degrees to get to the size that I want. And I could, for instance, if I wanted to put like a hammered pattern on a ring, I need to have something to back that ring with. So I'd put it on, and then I'd be able to do my hammering, and it would keep it, you know, nice and solid, so that way I can do the work. I started drawing, obviously, when we were young. You know, everyone does drawing in school. But ultimately, I ended up, I love drawing in, you know, different types of media, and it's really, you know, it's fast. In college, I took drawing classes that focused mostly on still life, and one of the, like, most fun things that we did, we actually took multiple sheets of paper and just made this giant sized you know, drawing that, you know, we covered the entire thing, and it was a giant still life. And it was like, it was just simply amazing, because the speed at which we got to draw it, combined with the you know, still life things, featured like a lot of fabric and folds, so a lot of shadows, and it's just, it really makes for a very dynamic picture, and it's really fun. And sometimes I feel like I can capture some of that in my drawing that I'm doing for jewelry ideas. I majored in biology, and I took a lot of classes that had a lot of, you know, very structured, a lot of pictures representing various things in biology, chemicals, for instance. And all of those classes essentially got me ready for the working world, and ultimately I landed myself in a chemistry position dealing with metals. ForgeCon Conclusions has teamed up with a fantastic supplier. So our stock, gold, silver, platinum, all of it is 100% recycled. The way that this works is all the folks, other jewelers and people that are, in the trade of dealing with metals, they all, when it's used or they need it melted down or whatever, it all gets refined. All that metal gets basically reused, turned back into new fresh wire, sizing stock, bars, you name it. And ultimately, that's what our supplier, they have a commitment 100% recycled. ForgeCon Conclusions is kind of like, it's based on foregone conclusion, and the forge part was added in by my brother-in-law, and the reason being is that I enjoy forging, blacksmithing as a hobby, and that's where the jive word came in, so it became foregone conclusions. So one of the things that I really want to do is have a piece on the red carpet. I really think that that would be wicked fantastic. And everyone's got their fancy outfits, they look so beautiful, and I really feel that it would be an honor to have a piece out there on that red carpet. With what I was doing as a bench jeweler with regards to repairs and stuff, there was expectation of, you wanted to get done about 5 jobs an hour. That ends up being somewhere around like 20 to 30 jobs a day. And ultimately over the years, I've basically done thousands of jobs at this point. With our supplier, we're able to get both mine and lab-grown gemstones. The real difference is mined stones, genuine, are going to be coming from, the earth. They have nature's touch on them, and they're going to have, you're going to have a lot of variation, and that's why there's all sorts of different grading for the various types of stones. Man-made stones, they are basically grown in a lab. And they're going to have certain levels of quality that they're trying to reach. So you could actually get quite a bit of uniformity with man-made stones. Someone that's entering into the jewelry field, you need passion. That is one of the most important things, because you're going to be doing a lot of repetition for quite a long time. And some of the basics, they could be a little bit boring, and you have to really develop, a fine polish is really important for an end piece. And if you can't get that beginner basic down, you're never really going to have a successful piece at the end. The Cardinal Ring is one of my most favorite pieces that I've created so far. It's a truly inspirational piece that really captures the emotion that the guest was really looking for. They had the vision of the cardinal being the protector, and the stones representing their birth months represent them. And what I really tried to do was to make it so that way the cardinal was looking down, watching over the 3 of them, and the stones are kind of like lying in a nest situation. So that way the cardinal was, in a sense, attending to its nest, guarding them.